Looked at how to make a 5-number summary, and with that 5-number summary you should now be able to make a box plot. So today we're going to look at what happens if there's outliers or some pieces of data that doesn't seem to fit all the numbers in your 5-number summary. So let's do a few examples together, a couple examples together. Example 1, the following are the hours of sleep that 10 of your classmates got last night. We have 7, 2, 5, 7.5, 8, 8, 9, 6, 6, and 8.5. Does there appear to be an outlier in your data? So you could argue, well, 2 is pretty far away from the rest of the numbers, but how do we know for sure? Because really 2 isn't that far away from 5. So let's calculate an outlier and see as to really mathematically an outlier. So to calculate an outlier, the first step is to find the 5-number summary. We've practiced doing it by hand by putting the numbers in order and crossing numbers out till we find the median, Q1 and Q3. Let's practice using the calculator. So to do that, go to the home screen and we're going to go to New Document and add a list in Spreadsheets. So I'm just going to call these H, or I'll just label hours for hours of sleep. Don't put anything in the equal sign. And I'm just going to type in the numbers in the order that the list has. So I don't have to put them in order. My calculator doesn't need them in order to calculate the 5-number summary. So we have 7, 2, 5, 7.5, 8, 8, 9, 6, 6, 8.5. All right, so there's 10 pieces of data. All right, we go to a cell that doesn't have a number in it. Go to Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, One Variable Statistics. We only have one list, and we're going to find our list. It's called Hours, and hit OK. And then over here, and sometimes you have to scroll to the top of the document, here is our 5-number summary. There's 10 pieces of data. Min is 2. Q1 is 6. Median 7.25. Q3 is 8. Max is 9. All right, let's write those down and then go over the steps of finding an outlier. So the minimum 2, make this thicker, Q1 6, median 7.25, Q3 8, max 9. All right, the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. It's like the biggest quartile minus the smallest quartile, Q3 minus Q1. In this case, it is 8 minus 6, which is 2. So the first step of finding an outlier 5-number summary. Second step, calculate the interquartile range. The third step is always multiply that interquartile range times 1.5. So we have 2 times 1.5, and that equals 3. This is like your magic number. We're going to use this to calculate the fences. Anything outside the fences is an outlier. Anything inside the fences is not an outlier. So to find the lower fence, we subtract this magic number 3 from Q1. So this will be Q1 minus 3. To find the upper fence, we add it to Q3. So Q3 plus our magic number 3. So Q1 is 6. We have 6 minus 3 is 3. This is our lower fence. To find the upper fence, we're going to do Q3, which is 8, plus 3, which is 11. This is our upper fence. All right, so let's use that to draw it's called a modified box and whiskers plot. Anything beyond the fences is outliers. If there are outliers, you can make a modified box plot. So let's put our fences in. One is at 3. And fences are dashed lines, dashed vertical lines. And then the other fence was at 11. So this is 8, 9, 10. So here's my other fence at 11. All right, so let's take a look at our data set. Is anything outside of that? And we know that 2 is. If we go back to our list right here, 2 is outside. And the next closest is 5. So to make the modified box plot, we're going to put a dot where 2 is. So I'm just going to go here, 2. The next highest point is 5. So that's our next, our newest minimum, 5. And then let's put the rest in. So Q1 is 6. So again, Q1 we have to draw a line. So here's 6. The median is 7.25. So here's 7.25 is like about here. And Q3 is 8. And the maximum is 9. And 9 is inside the fences. So in a modified box plot, instead of stretching our whisker way out to 2, we put our fences in and show, all right, most of our data is actually right here, and that 2 is mathematically an outlier. So that's how you make a modified box plot. Let's try one more example. So example 2, record the heights in inches of you and your classmates below. So to calculate the height in inches, however many feet you are, you multiply by 12 and you add the inches. So this will be how many feet you are times 12, and then you add the remaining inches to change from feet to inches. So for me, I'm 5 feet 1.5 inches. So I would do 5 times 12, which is 60, plus 1.5. So my height is 61.5 inches. And here, the symbol for inches is this, but I'll leave that out. All right, so I just made up some data, so 61.5. Let's say we had 63, how about 63, 64.5, about a 64, 65, 72, 62, 62.5, and 65. Okay, so let's say this is, you have a class of 10, let's say, here are the heights. So again, let's find the 5-number summary. I'll use the calculator. I'm going to open a new document, do not save unsaved, add a list in spreadsheet. These are now heights, and I'm going to type them in any order: 61.5, 63, 63, 64.5, 64, 65, 72, 62, 62.5, 65. I have 10. All right, again, go to a cell that's not already highlighted. Menu, statistics, stat calculations, one variable statistics. This time we're looking at height, so identify that. And then here is our 5-number summary. Min is 61.5, and so on. So I'm going to write this down so we can look at this here. Okay, so minimum 61.5, Q1 is 62.5, median is 63.5, 65, 72. All right, let's calculate any outliers. First step is the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is 65. Q1 is 62.5. If we subtract those, we get 2.5. Second step, take that number, that 2.5 interquartile range, and multiply it by 1.5. So if we do that, we get 3.75. Step 3, this is our magic number. We're going to take Q1 minus our magic number, 3.75, to find the lower fence. Anything lower than that is an outlier. To find the upper fence, we'll do Q3 plus 3.75. Anything above that is an outlier. So our Q1 was 62.5 minus 3.75, and then Q3 was 65. Okay, so our two fences are at 58.75 and 68.75. All right, so now I'm going to draw a modified box plot. I'm going to put in my fences. Anything outside the fences are dots. Anything inside the fences we draw like a regular box plot. Okay, so I'm just going to use my line tool here to help. And I'm just going to start at 58, 59. Here's 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 65. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 75. All right, so our fences, I'll use a different color, are at 58.75. Okay, so that's about right here. And at 68.75. 68. So about right here. All right, is there anything below 58.75? No. Is there anything above 68.75? Yes, the 72. But the next closest number is 65. So that becomes our new maximum. We're going to put a dot at 72. So a dot at 72. Our next maximum was at 65. Our Q3 was at 65, so I put a dot and a line there. Our median is at 63.5. So put a line there. Our Q1 was at 62.5, and our minimum was at 61.5. All right. So here's what our modified box plot looks like. Most of the data is right here with that one outlier at 72 inches, which is 6 feet. So in class, we're going to practice this more. So let me know if you have any further questions.